in many occasions we saw the importance of this tiny move h7, h6 for black's defense and counterattack. And of course black could play h6 immediately, or play its after castle, e3, and now h6. Why h6 considered to be a great nuance that is a bit more precise than playing castle? Because after castle, white quite often played queen c2, and now after h6, white could consider take on f6 and then playing e4, just straight on without actually playing e3. So that's one of the options. And after castle queen c2, if black takes on c4, then white could play e4, c5, and now taking on c5, queen a5, e5, knight d5, bishop takes c4, knight c3, and then castle. That's actually how I played my game with Anatoly Karpov in Sevilla in March, in our World Championship match, game 20, and gained quite a substantial plus, but the game still ended a draw. So queen c2 also offers black options to play b6, or to play even knight e4. So trying to get to a structure of Lasker defense. But you know, if black wants to play h6, it's a conventional wisdom. It should try it at move 5. So h6. We already looked at bishop h4, and we understand, you know, it's probably most conventional way of playing. But of course, white considered of taking on f6. Why not to take on f6? And maybe even now to play e4. In fact, e4 was played a few times by Ramanujan quite successfully until Yefim Geller, by the way, another big name, a man who eventually switched from King's Indian to Queen's Gambit and became one of the greatest specialists, who was playing himself very successfully, and also I think played a key role of teaching Anatoly Karpov to become a big specialist of this opening as well. So, worth saying a few words about Geller's roles in the Queen's Gambit. One of the most creative minds in the history of chess openings. Dedicated his strengths and efforts to find new ideas in Queen's Gambit declined, and he was always successful. So just shows, in my view, it just shows that there are no dull openings, there are no bad openings, there are no quiet openings. It's all up to our determination and passion and ability to find new ideas everywhere. So, and after the e4, knight e4, Geller unleashed once move knight c6, and after knight takes f6, queen f6, queen d3, which was a Ramanujan's idea, waiting for castle and then putting queen on e4, winning time for bishop goes on d3. Geller played b6, b6, queen e4, bishop b7, knight e5, long castle, knight takes c6, rook d6, knight e7, king b8, and this game was the end of Ramanujan's idea with e4 and queen d3. So quite an amazing development of the quiet opening. Black actually castle long side. Could hardly imagine. So instead of e4 immediately, white in this position tried all sorts of moves. Queen b3, queen c2, and of course normal move e3, and queen d2. So queen b3, c6, long castle was tried once by Jan Timman against Artur Yusupov. So unsuccessfully, it proved to be that black's initiative on the king side is more than sufficient. So one of the lines that requires serious investigation is the idea to play queen d2. And again, all these queen's moves, they are not they're making a lot of sense, because white is trying to play e4 without playing e3. So it's always trying to sort of win a very precious time in the opening, and after e4, white would control more space and will have a very comfortable game. So one of the key games for Linus Queen d2 was game 21 I played against Anatoly Karpov. It's in our match 84-85. So I played took on c4, and after e4 I played c5, and immediately attacking white's white center. And after e5 I played bishop e7, d5, ed5, queen takes d5. No, sorry. ec4, c5. He played d5, ed5, e5. That was okay. Bishop g5, queen takes d5, knight c6, bishop c4, and then castle. And that was probably the end of this line, because Karpov gained no advantage, and then later he switched to normal continuation. So neither queen b3 nor queen c2 or e3 or queen d2 promised anything for white. So the main line remained e3, no logical move e3, and after castle, here white tried again. Queen c2, queen b3, queen d2, and of course traditional rook c1. I myself played queen c2, beating Jan Timman in Russia, in USSR versus the world in 1984, and then I equalized with Karpov a couple of times in game 27 in our match in 1984-85, and in game 4 in our match in 85. Ironically, I lost both of the games, having comfortable, nice positions where I would have to make a draw easily. I either was slow or too complacent, and eventually lost both of them. In one game I played c5, dc5, and d takes c4, which is good enough, and after bishop c4, queen a5, castle, takes c3, queen c3, queen c3, b c3, knight d7, c6, b6. This position black lost. I can hardly believe it, look at this position now. And in the second match after after queen c2, I showed one of my novel display, knight a6, and that probably was the end of the queen c2 line, because it proved to be more than efficient. Black actually organized c7, c5, and got a very, very comfortable game. So Karpov played, I think played here rook d1, c5, cd5, ed5, dc5, queen a5, and well, I'm not sure, in fact, how we actually managed to no, it was dc5, queen a5, cd5, knight takes c5, and he played queen d2 here, and after rook d8, bishop e2, rook d8, knight d4, rook d8, knight d4, ed5, bishop e2, and here black could have an easy game, just simply playing bishop e6 and then queen b6 and then knight e4. So that's another line to equalize. So e3, castle, queen c2 was neutralized. Karpov also tried queen d2 against me. It was a game 6 in the match, so he recognized that knight a6 was a good move, and I followed Portish line, which was good enough to equalize. D takes c4, bishop c4, knight d7, castle c5, and eventually the game ended as a draw. And this line, queen d2, also disappeared. So the one of the lines that remains is queen b3. It's played, still played recently, because then black probably should go c6, and after rook d1, white keeps a little pressure, knight d7, bishop d3, and here b6 that Karpov played against me with black was, in my view, not enough to equalize. So queen b6 is also probably not very good. So black probably should play something like either a6 preparing b5, or to play g6, bishop g7, as Kramnik played recently. So in my view, the position is offering very little for white, because black's position is very, very solid. So one of the most important lines in this variation was rook c1. White develops the pieces, and after c6, bishop d3, knight d7, castle, dc4, bishop c4, e5. The innocent move h3 created most of the problems for black. h3, First time I played against Karpov in our match in 85, game 23, and I quickly gained big advantage because Karpov was unprepared, and after e4 knight b6, bishop b3, he couldn't develop his pieces normally. It seems that black has no problem at all, but eventually after bishop a5, rook e1, it has to be very cautious, because rook e8, white takes on e8, and then goes queen d2, and then rook goes on e1, and there's this unpleasant pressure on this diagonal, and also it potentially creates problems, because if black bishop goes back on g6 h7, it's not participating in the game, while white still controls the central squares better than black. Karpov couldn't manage to equalize, and then we played this line a few more times, and by employing this line I even won a very famous and crucial game of the match in 86, rematch in 86. It took time for black to actually find the right move order, and then in this position they always play a5, a3, important to weaken this queen side, rook e8, rook takes e8, queen d2, and now queen d7, rook e1, rook e8, rook takes e8, queen takes e8, and after queen f4, bishop e6, bishop takes e6, queen takes e6, queen c7, knight c4, queen takes b7, bishop takes d4, and after knight d4, queen e1, position is a draw, king h2, queen e5 check. So that's the main line that was discovered, and white tried to improve but never succeeded. So it seems that this line, it leads to not a forced draw, because white had number of options to deviate and just to create a little bit of pressure, but it's not enough. So that's why eventually line with bishop takes f6 not virtually disappeared from the practice of the strong grandmasters, but not often seen in the big tournaments. But it's again for your purposes, for the purposes of having fun, of playing interesting games of chess, especially if you play rapid or blitz chess. There is always room for improvement, and lines with bishop f6 is as good as any other line with retreating bishop h4 or playing bishop f4 instead of bishop g5. Every time analyzing these games, especially if you have a computer and you know how to surf with the machine in these endless lines, you could find a small improvement that could be good enough to win a game, and or at least to play a very entertaining game and to enjoy yourself.